What's up, guys, and welcome to the Tim's Sports Talk. We have another Thursday night football game recap. We have the Atlanta Falcons versus the Carolina Panthers, and there is no blunder coming from the Falcons tonight to ruin this game. They tried, though. They gave the Panthers an opportunity down by 8 in the fourth quarter to try to win the game. Doesn't end up happening, but here we go. Let's go through the recap. We have Atlanta right out the gate. They drive the ball all the way down to the 3-yard line, and they actually lined up to go for it on 4th and 1. Then they're kind of like, meh, wishy-washy. Then they don't try to like draw them off sides or anything. They're just kind of, what do we want to do? So then they end up kicking the field goal anyway after wasting a timeout. That was weird. But Panthers get the ball, and this drive was aided by Atlanta penalties. Let me tell you, like, a PI, a late hit to keep these drives alive. Then Curtis Samuels gets a 12-yard run. Falcons get the ball back, and again, they move the ball, but they only get 3 points instead of 7. They got into the red zone twice and walk away with 7. They're down by 1. And the drive gets to the 13 before Matt Ryan gets sacked. Julio off the field on 3rd and 10. Why do they do this? You have a 3rd and 10 trying to get into the end zone, and you take Julio Jones off the field. It makes no sense to me, but whatever. They end up getting 3 points. So weird. Drive number 2, more penalties for the Falcons, allows the Panthers to come down, and they get but they end up actually only punting on that drive. They had 4 penalties for 43 yards just in the first 2 drives on defense, and they also had a defensive holding that ended up being canceled or declined by the Falcons, or by the Panthers. Very odd. Like, why so many penalties? You thought that this was going to be another blowout for the Falcons. Like, Panthers were just going to run away with this one because the Panthers were able to score in the red zone where the Falcons weren't. But that ended up not being the case because the offense for Atlanta was moving the ball quite well. So they ended up scoring 25 with 3 field goals. So good for them. And they got a big interception from Teddy to ice it. So, all right, moving on. After that punt by the Panthers, Matt Ryan throws an interception, and it was overthrown. He had a little bit of pressure in his face from Brian Burns, the first-round pick out of Florida State for the Panthers 2 drafts ago. But that turns into an interception, which then they get another touchdown on a flea flicker to Curtis Samuels. Nice 29-yard field goal, touchdown, flea flicker to Curtis Samuels. So that was pretty cool. Cool to see. Mike Davis gets the ball, tosses it back to Teddy Bridgewater for a touchdown. Next drive, we have Hayden Hurst. It was an interesting challenge by the Panthers because Hayden Hurst makes an insane catch on the ground that it touches the ground, but technically the ball does not move at all. And they challenge it, and it ends up standing. We actually don't know if it stood or was it confirmed because they approved it over the break. So they came back and they just said, all right, it stayed on the field. But we didn't hear that terminology coming actually from the ref's mouth, whether they confirmed it or whether it stood. I'd be curious on that because I think by rule, it should have been confirmed a catch because he technically had his hand on the ball before it hit the ground. Then it touched the ground and it didn't move at all. So I think it should have been confirmed. It was actually a really weird challenge by the Panthers. All right, so moving on to the next one. Matt Ryan ends up scoring on a 13-yard run play, and this was big because with the problems with the Falcons in the red zone, the corner for Carolina could have got the tackle, but when he steps back, he actually slips, which gave just enough room for Matt Ryan to run it in for 13 yards. That's the longest touchdown run of his career for 13 yards, and it comes because it was a slip by the Carolina corner. Unfortunate for them in an 8-point game because down the stretch, they could have only been needing a field goal potentially instead of a touchdown. But after that, the Panthers get the ball and they go for it on 4th and 1, and they actually try to do a read option and get Teddy Bridgewater on the outside, and he just has no chance. The linebacker, I can't think of his name was really weird. They said it multiple times. I couldn't even understand it, to be honest. But he runs a 4.40 apparently, and there was no chance for Teddy Bridgewater to get around him. He ends up losing a yard on 4th and 1, and the Falcons get the ball, and they're able to turn it into 3 points, but again, failing in the red zone. So they failed 3 times in the red zone, getting 3 field goals in the first half. So that gets us into the first half, 16-14, Falcons leading it. And coming out the gate, the Falcons offense was really, really moving the ball well again. But again, first drive out of the half, they only walk away with a field goal. You're like, okay, this is definitely going to be another terrible day for the Falcons. They're going to lose it again because they can't punch it into the end zone. They stink in crunch time. But the reason that the Panthers couldn't act like they went for it again the next drive on 4th and 2 and again get stuffed. So Falcons defense coming up huge. Grady Jarrett for the Falcons was absolutely a madman. He was really big in stopping these 4th downs, defensive tackle for them. Falcons turned that into 3 more points. So another freaking field goal. Actually, I think they had 4 field goals on the day, right? Maybe even more. How many field goals they end up with? No, I'm actually going to go back and look right now. Hold on. It was 1, 2, 3, 4 field goals. Yeah, like they easily could have had 40 points this game, but they couldn't punch it into the end zone. So tough. Panthers were holding strong, but Panthers were getting driven on all day. So after the 3 points, the Panthers go for it one more time, but this time it was 4th and 9. They already failed on 4th and 1. They already failed on 4th and 2. So why not try 4th and 9? And sure enough, on the fake punt, they get the end around run. And good for the good for the Panthers to finally break through and get that thing. And here it is. Here's the time that the Atlanta Falcons are going to flip it up again. And you have Panthers coming back to win this game. But that didn't happen because they end up getting the stop. And they give them 3 points. And they keep the lead 19-17. And the Falcons then go on 2 more massive drives. 11-play, 75-yard drive that took 7 minutes off the clock in the second half. That's huge, and it ended with a Todd Gurley 30-yard run. They try to go for 2, they fail. And here comes the Panthers. They have to punt. The Falcons, though, the very next drive, they don't get any points, but they find a way to get a 5.5-minute drive. So in 2 drives back-to-back at the end of the game, they take off 12 minutes, like 12 and a half minutes, nearly a quarter of football. So good for them. And they end up punting, and the Panthers go for it on 3rd and 18. They get a big play on 3rd and 18 after a sack. But then on 3rd and 6, Teddy Bridgewater gets a little pressure. There's a holding call, and then he ends up throwing the final pick to ice the game. And there you go. Falcons win 25-17. So there's my recap. And let's get into some comments. Mike Pryor, Tim, what's up, man? How's it going, Mike? DRG, what's up, Tim? Didn't even watch the game. You didn't watch the game? That's all right. That's why I give the breakdown so we can go into it and we can talk about it. Dominic Montana, what's up? How's it going, Dominic? Anthony Johnson, Julio Jones got me 20 fantasy points tonight. Yeah, I have him in one of my fantasy leagues as well. And there is a 3-point bonus for when you get over 100. So he got me 23.7. That was nice. Mike Davis only got me 11.3 in a PPR league. I was hoping for one more good game out of him before Christian McCaffrey came back to put him away. So after today, I'm going to have to retire Mike Davis until Christian McCaffrey gets hurt. And hopefully he doesn't because I like Christian, but that is how the cookie crumbles. I also was briefly watching the game in the second half trying to make a trade, and I tried to make, why is he even sending me that? Anyway, I tried to make 12 trades today, and every single one I put it in the trade analyzer, and I was losing, and I still couldn't get them off. Nobody's trying to accept any of my trades. I'm willing to trade Zeke and DeAndre Hopkins, and I still can't get trades off. I mean, it's unbelievable. I was hoping he goes off like he did tonight since I have Terry and D-Hop on the bench. Oh, yeah, because they both have bye weeks. Oof, that's tough. Having 2 of your top receivers on bye week at the same time, that hurts. Week 8 was going to be rough for me, but because of the Titans-Pittsburgh debacle where they ended up moving around the bye weeks, that ended up not hurting me nearly as bad since both of their bye weeks ended up changing to week 3 or whatever it was. But at one point I had like 9 bye weeks on one of my teams in week 8. That was, yeah, I was like, oh gee, what am I gonna do here? All right, let's go into the box score. Yeah, speaking of Julio and his 20 points, he did have a nice big 7 catches, 137 yards. Unfortunately, could not punch it into the end zone. They threw it to him like 4 times in the end zone, and every single time it was either overthrown or a good play by the defender, underthrown. Like, he just couldn't finally punch it in there. But I think they gave him like 4 opportunities to get into the end zone, and that was a big part of them failing when they went into the red zone where they couldn't actually punch it in through for a touchdown. Curtis Samuels at one point had 2 or 3 touches for 2 touchdowns. That was awesome for him. He ended up only on the day with 7 touches for a total of 50 yards, but 2 touchdowns. So fantasy day, if you somehow scooped him up and played him as a flex play, you're happy with that. Mike Davis only had 13 carries, 66 yards. The game flow really hurt him because I think he ran pretty darn well today, but since they were only able to get 13 carries off because they were down a majority of the second half, that really hurt him. What chance do you give the Cowboys on beating the Eagles? What chance do I give the Cowboys on beating the Eagles? Honestly, pretty low. I think they're in really dire straits. The one thing you can only hope for is it's a division game, big underdog. Maybe they can somehow find a way to fight to, will the win. But I don't think they believe in their coach, Mike McCarthy, and I don't think they really want to play for him. He's trading them away. Zeke's in shambles. I don't know. It's a really weird thing. So I would give them maybe like a 20% chance of winning because the Eagles are still not great, but I think they're just in a much better position than the Eagles, obviously, with the quarterback situations and the other injuries. And they're also having a fire sale trying to trade everybody away. They cut Dontari Poe. They traded away Everson Griffith. They traded away somebody else, I think. Yeah, so they're trying to tank for Trevor at this point, I think, is what they're going for. I think we could trade for Curtis Samuel. That's interesting. Curtis Samuel, he's a switchblade. You can use him everywhere on the field. So, but he's not going to change our wide receiver room really. He's kind of just more of a, you can put him all around and you kind of use him in all sorts of different directions. But he's not really a guy that you're going to put at the receiver position and feel real comfortable with. What did he end up with today? 4 catches, 31. I knew that, but I was going into. Yeah, he's only 5'11", 195 pounds. He's not this guy that's going to absolutely change your receiver room. So I don't think so. Wish we had DJ Moore with Terry. Yeah, that is something that would be really awesome. But DJ Moore also went in the first round. You can't spend picks all around on receivers. DJ Moore actually only had 2 catches for 55 yards, but the one catch was huge because it came on that 3rd and 18 on the final drive. But DJ Moore did not have a great day. He's tied for 7th in yards, 3 touchdowns. Yeah, 2 catches on 6 targets today. 6 foot, 210 pounds. But yeah, I would love DJ Moore because DJ Moore is the real deal. Teddy Bridgewater, man. I didn't mind what I saw from Teddy Bridgewater, but the stats just does not pan out for what you want to see. 15 completions on 23 attempts, 176 yards, and a touchdown. Matt Ryan, 21 completions, 30 attempts, and 281 yards and a pick, but he did run in that touchdown, 6 carries, 27 yards, so that was big. I heard the Giants are interested in Kenny Golladay from the Lions. That could help Daniel Jones out a lot. They have a lot of injuries at receiver. I don't mind that move for them, especially since I think they have a legit chance of winning the division. I know they have a tough schedule, but so do we, and I think they have a chance to win the division with that how well their defense is playing. And if they can just protect Daniel Jones at all, and they get him a weapon like Kenny Golladay, I hope some way we can get him, or at least try to go get Allen Robinson. Yeah, the problem is we're selling more than buying, so I don't know who we would give up. What we would give up. I don't want to give up a bunch of draft prospects or draft capital for these aging receivers. I don't know. But Galladay's not really old. He's probably only 26. Allen Robinson's probably a little bit older. And Cowboys will not win it. Will not win, no chance, giving up on the coaches. Nobody on the O-line is acclimated, and they don't relate to Dalton. Yeah, if Dalton even plays, and right now we don't even know if he's going to be the starter. Ryan Anderson in a third round for Galladay or Robinson. What's the Galladay contract? Is he still on his rookie deal? Oh, technically he's still on his rookie deal. So we would have to trade and sign him. I wonder what he's asking for. He's pretty talented. He's only 26. Yeah, I wonder what he's looking to get. I don't know. No one knows and respects him like they did Dak. Andy Dalton? Yeah, especially with how he's been playing. He's not earned any respect when it comes to how he's been playing. There's no doubt about that. But the thing is they still have Zeke Elliott. And Zeke Elliott can do... He's a super talented guy. I know he's had a little bit of an interesting start with the fumble issues and everything, but he could turn around on a dime and all of a sudden end up with a big day. And he can catch the ball out of the backfield. He could do it all as well. So, and they have a ton of weapons. They're a dangerous team. They're not well coached. I agree with that. Their defense is in shambles. But even with Dalton, they have weapons around him that if he just gets a little bit more accurate and doesn't give the ball away, anything's possible with Dallas to win a game. Especially against a struggling Eagles team. It's not like the Eagles are some fantastic football team right now. They've got injuries and they got problems. They don't have a lot of talent on offense. You know, with Miles Sanders' injury, Alshon Jeffrey injured, they just have this Travis Fulgham and Carson Wentz. Zach Ertz is hurt. So, you know, they just do they even have Dallas Goedert? I think Dallas Goedert's hurt too. So it's not like the Eagles are some, you know, well-oiled machine that are going to come in and roll over them. I still give them an 80% chance of winning, but it's not necessarily like a guarantee. Like, let me look here. It's the Sunday night game too, so we'll be talking about that. Yeah, ESPN somewhat agrees with me. They're giving them a 73% chance of winning. I said 80, so ESPN's right there around the same ballpark for I. Man, Carson Wentz only has a 58% completion percentage this year. Not good. Not good. They need to switch the Eagles-Cowboys to a 1 p.m. Steelers-Ravens to the night game. 1,000,000% agree. Like, the fact that the Steelers-Ravens, even going into the season, we knew that these teams were going to be good. Steelers had the number 1 rated defense going into the season. Lamar Jackson and the Ravens just came off a 14-2 season. Big Ben's coming off injury. We knew that these two teams are going to be good. Why in the world did the schedule makers not put the Ravens and the Steelers game in prime time? That makes no sense. Did you hear the Cowboys defense coordinator got Tabasco in his eye during the press conference? I did. I didn't actually watch it, but I did hear about that. That's pretty funny. Where the heck did the Tabasco sauce even come from? Wait, what? How do you get Tabasco sauce in your eye during a press conference? I have no clue. Thanksgiving's games are going to be crazy. Washington versus Dallas. In Dallas and Steelers Ravens. Steelers Ravens play on Thanksgiving. Okay, so they got one game right. That's cool. Seeing that game on prime time. what is that, week 12, I think? Yeah, week 12. So, Thursday night, Thanksgiving, Pittsburgh versus Ravens at Pittsburgh at home. I won't be able to go live on that because I will be doing Thanksgiving with my family, but that would be a fun one. He was eating sandwiches and then rubbed his eye during a press conference? Come on, man. That's hilarious. Yeah, it's the 8:30 game. That'll be a fun one. And they should be at 8:30 on Sunday night. Yeah, why are the Eagles Cowboys over them? That makes no sense. I hope we bring back the yellow pants for Thanksgiving. For some reason, I just think it always looks cool when we play the Cowboys with yellow pants. I have never thought about that. Do you think that they might flex the Cowboys versus the Redskins game on Thanksgiving just because of how terrible both of us are? No, Cowboys always play on Thanksgiving. The Lions and the Cowboys always play Thanksgiving. That's the tradition. It's not going to change. Both of those always have home games on Thanksgiving, no matter how good, no matter how bad, doesn't matter. The Lions have been garbage for years. Even when they're 0-16, they had a home game on Thanksgiving. They're not changing it. They always play that game when we play them on Thanksgiving. Yeah, and it's definitely not. Yeah, exactly. Both Anthony Johnson and Mike Pryor both agree. Yeah, it's Lions and Cowboys always do. And then they started doing a division game as the third game, which is a lot of fun to watch. Even when like the Jets and Patriots play, they've played the Ravens Steelers before. They've had the Bears versus Packers. Like they always have some sort of really fun rivalry on Thursday night for Thanksgiving, and it's a lot of fun. We always get embarrassed at Jerry World, but not this year. Nope, not this year. Hail to the Redskins. But yeah, I know the Cowboys play on Thanksgiving, but I'm saying, do you think they will change the team they play against? No. That's a lot of work for them to change the schedule like that. Yeah, like it was extremely crazy that they actually did change the schedule around for the Titans after their outbreak for COVID. Like that's extremely rare. It's a lot more complicated than just, switch the team they play, because they have to find a place to play. Then whoever they switch with, they're going to have a problem. Yeah, it's just not going to happen. Yeah, they need to change the 12 o'clock game Thanksgiving. I don't recall it being a division game. They need to change the 12 o'clock? No, it's not. It's Detroit versus Houston. The Detroit and Dallas don't always play a division game. That's not what I'm saying. They always play. It doesn't matter who they're playing. They're always going to play a home game. But the night game, when they added the third game, because it used to only be two games. It used to only be a Dallas game and a Detroit game. But when they added the third game, they made that game a division rivalry game. So it became as I said, I think one of the first ones was Patriots, Jets. I know we played the Giants one year on Thanksgiving. They've already had the Ravens Steelers once. They've had the Green Bay Chicago matchup. So it's interesting. It should have been Detroit versus Green Bay. I mean, would you really be interested in that game? The Packers would just destroy them anyway. I think that Detroit-Houston game would be more interesting than a Packers-Lions game. But I can see where your point, that it kind of does look out of place for the day, because you have Skins, Dallas, and then you have Baltimore Steelers. So it kind of looks odd looking at that. Yes, Aaron Rodgers is my favorite QB. So you'd rather see Green Bay play on Thanksgiving because that's who you like. Okay, that's fair. Who plays on the Christmas Eve game this year? I forget who does. Let's look it up. I don't even know what day Christmas is this year. It's going to be quick. They usually play, week 16 on Christmas Eve? Yeah. Oh, no, it's not a Christmas Eve game. It's a Christmas Day. December 25th. They make the Thursday night game actually a Friday night game, and it's Minnesota versus New Orleans at New Orleans. Wow, we're going to have NFL football on Christmas Day. That's rare. That's very rare and untypical, I'm pretty sure. I think they've even made it Christmas Eve before. That's weird. Saints are going to crush them. Yeah, I don't know, dude. The Vikings are a team that always could surprise. They're well coached with Mike Zimmer. they have a lot of talent over there. Dalvin Cook's a fantastic running back. Kirk Cousins a capable quarterback. He has Adam Thielen and Justin Jefferson. Like, the defense is always well coached by Mike Zimmer, so you never know if they will crush them. But yes, the Saints will be a favorite. Yeah, beat them. I agree. They should beat them. But shoot, that was the playoff game last year, and Kirk Cousins and the Vikings found a way to beat the Saints after a 13-3 year, and the Vikings found a way to beat them last year. So, and I don't even think that necessarily the Saints are a better team this year than they were last year. Games on Christmas, man, that was what has the world come to? 2020, ending it on it's not a bad note. I think that's actually one of the coolest things in 2020, right? Football on Christmas, there's nothing wrong with that. Starts at 4:30. You can eat your nice Christmas dinner watching the football game. They missed the call with Kyle pushed off in OT. Yeah, Kyle Rudolph. That was tough. Saints are defense worse this year. I think you just mean like the Saints defense is worse this year. I can understand that. Yeah, from last year, definitely. They had a really good defense. Like, they've had a good defense for like the last 5 years, and it's struggled this year. Agreed. We should make a run at Kyle Rudolph. He's on the trading block. Kyle Rudolph is old now, isn't he? He's 30. It's not ridiculous. In his prime, he was great. I loved him. I loved Kyle Rudolph. Like 4 or 5 years ago, he was an awesome tight end. Chris Cooley really talked him up also. Like, he was one of his favorite tight ends to watch as a former tight end on film. Like, he just did everything right. But fantasy-wise, he was fine. Like, he was solid. We should go after the Rams tight end or Browns tight end. Yeah, I like both Tyler Higbee and David Njoku. I think I like David Njoku a little bit more, but yeah, Tyler Higbee, there would be nothing wrong with that tight end either. What's his name? Everett, too. I'm surprised they didn't put the Cowboys on Christmas Day game because it seems like the Cowboys always get put on the big games. They do love their Cowboys in primetime. There's no doubt. Or we can re-sign Jordan Reed in the offseason. Yeah, for another injury. It was hilarious. I loved the fact that when they came on, they were like, the Redskins should have signed him. He had 2 touchdowns in his first start for San Francisco. He's amazing. Like, they messed up letting him go. And then a week later, he's on IR. That's why they let him go. Higbee was rated lower than Logan Thomas last week. Well, Logan Thomas had a good game. What is Higbee doing this year on PFF overall? He's a 71.5 overall. That's a starter in this league. Tyler Higbee is not a bad tight end, dude. And Logan Thomas, there's no way he has a higher grade than that on the year. 57.9. Yeah, Logan Thomas had one good week. I want Gerald Everett. Yeah, Everett would be fine as well. I agree with that. That's pretty good too. We laugh at Jordan Reed, but when he healthy and in prime, he is absolute force of nature and helped us in a lot of wins. Sad story, really. Yeah, I just remember like that Tampa Bay comeback where he had that nasty slant to win the game, or the Green Bay playoff game. He had that nasty one-hand catch, like reaching back with his left hand. Like, Jordan Reed is one of the best route running tight ends during his time. There's no doubt. He could run routes as good as just about any receiver in the league, let alone other tight ends. So, no, he is an awesome, awesome, awesome tight end. I completely agree. I miss Jordan Reed, but he always injured. Exactly. Precisely. Mike Pryor, he did for 1 week. I'll find the IG post. The one week. I believe you. Last week, Logan Thomas played really well. What do you have? Like 6 catches and a touchdown for like 70 yards? I mean, that's awesome. There was nothing wrong with what he did last week against Dallas, but it's against Dallas. Oh, for the entire season, you have Tyler Higbee at 71.5, and maybe he had one bad game, and I don't know if he had a bad game or not, but I could believe that he had a bad game. But overall, 71.5 compared to an overall 57.9. At this point, I'm down for making a big splash move at a good tight end or wide receiver at the trade deadline. Depends, man. Depends. Anthony Johnson agrees. He wouldn't be mad at that. We're just not in that position, dude. I know we're trying to win, but we're trying to build a team. So we're not trying to trade away capital right now in a quote-unquote win-now mindset. Yeah, we're in a win-mind mindset as far as, hey, we have a chance to win the division. Let's go try to win the division. Let's not, do stupid things to lose games, but, we're not going to play Dwayne Haskins right away because we're trying to win, but we're not trying to trade away a bunch of draft capital or a bunch of young players or whatever, blah, blah, blah. Like, it's like, no, we want to add draft capital. So if we can get rid of a player or two that, is not the end of the world, like, it would have been nice to be able to hand off Landon Collins potentially. Of course, now he has the torn Achilles, right? I think he's the Achilles. But then also you have, like, you still have players like, I don't want to trade Ryan Kerrigan, but that's an option. Yeah, I don't know who else is really a good trade bait potential for us in particular, but that we would try to offload players rather than onload. But I just want to make the playoffs, dude. We haven't been there in forever. I know since 2015 with Kirk. That was the last time we made the playoffs. I'm with you. I want to make the playoffs too, but I want to build this team for the future because that's the more important thing here. We're like, yeah, even if we get in the playoffs, 7-9, maybe we win a game by some sort of, playing hard, miracle, whatever. But we are close, in my opinion, to building something. And I want all my draft capital I can get going into next offseason. We have the extra 3rd round pick for the Trent Williams trade. We have a 1st, 2nd, and 3rd of our own. Like, add more picks and really build this squad with this next draft class. And, we could be a potential 9-10 win team next year, especially if we get the right quarterback. We shore up the left side of the offensive line. We get a decent tight end, and we get some linebacker help and maybe one free safety. Get some receivers back that were hurt, like Kelvin Harmon and Emmanuel Hall. Add one more in the draft. Antonio Gandy Golden has another year under his belt. This team could be good. Obviously, he's on IR, but usually you hear updates about people on IR. He's been on IR forever. And with players like Steven Sims, at least you hear updates. Oh, shoot. I completely missed your comment. I got you. Bryce Love is fading away from relevance. Anybody notice we never hear about his injury? And with Gibson playing well, soon enough we'll end up waiving him. I could see it, or maybe trading him. I know it sucks too, because I really liked the Bryce Love pick in the 4th round. He had a whole bunch of talent coming out of Stanford. I was hoping for something real out of him, but you're absolutely right. With Antonio Gibson, J.D. McKissick not looking bad, Peyton Barber not the worst. Like, you're really not seeing that opportunity where Bryce Love can really make noise on the field. And will he ever be healthy? I don't know. And he's an example, unfortunately, you don't stay another year when you don't need to. He was a 1st-round pick after running 2,000 yards in Stanford. Then he decided he wanted to go for his doctorate, which is fine. He could have gone back for that. I'm not saying not do that, but You have an opportunity right now to get drafted in the first round and make millions on a rookie year contract. And then if you hit big and you get your next contract, good for you. And then you can come out of football, finish up, get your doctorate degree, whatever I think you wanted to be a pediatrician. Get your pediatrician degree, and then you move on with your life after football. But he stayed one more year. He had a year riddled with injuries, and he hasn't been the same since. And he missed out on tons and tons of money, and now he's sitting on an IR spot in a bad team. It sucks. I'm not worried because the Eagles and Cowboys windows are closing up quick, and we all have to worry about is the Giants. Yeah. Love could have finished his doctor stuff during the offseason. That's an absolute great point too. Is like, yeah, you have 3 months off in the offseason. Go take your doctorate degree then. Like, there's so many other options for you instead of staying an extra year, and all that did was make him miss out on millions and set him up for a future with getting your doctorate degree later, becoming your pediatrician, and moving on with your life. Instead, now you're wasting your time in, IR spots in the training room and trying to just get healthy and not making really any money as a 4th-round pick. And now you'll do the same thing and become a doctor later. But I'm not mad at his decision. It's his life, not mine. I understand it's his life, not mine. So I agree I don't hate him or anything. I don't like the decision. And I'm going to say I don't like the decision. So I think other people in that position should make the decision to play football. You were given a gift, and obviously you're a fantastic football player who could potentially be drafted in the first round. Like if Trevor Lawrence decided to stay another year at Clemson, that's stupid. That's absolutely a dumb decision. Anybody telling him to stay another year at Clemson is not thinking of him for his best decisions. You're just not. Period. As a first-round draft pick, you're going to make over $10 million, probably closer to 20 after 4 years with a 5th-year option. And then if you hit big and you get your contract, awesome. But just on your rookie year deal alone, you're going to make multi-millions and probably over $10 million. You're the first overall pick. You have to take that opportunity. College is not going to close up next week and you never get your college degree. It's not happening. You could go back to college at any age you want to, but you only get one shot at number 1 pick overall. Maybe it's a long shot you get 2. But that's like point 0.000000001 because something will probably go wrong the next season, and staying an extra season won't help you. The only reason you stay another year in college is to improve your draft stock. So maybe you're a 5th-round pick, and you're like, you know what? I like where I'm at here in Clemson. I don't want to be a 5th-round pick. So you know what? I'll stay one more year and try to improve that. Maybe I can become a 2nd pick the next year. Or maybe even a 1st-round pick. So who knows? Maybe I can move up, something like that. But you're already the number 1 draft pick. Or if you're already a 1st-round caliber player, you go get your freaking money. Hope for the best for him too. Yeah, I hope nothing. Bryce Love seems like a great dude off the field. I have no problems with Bryce. Bro went from being a future doctor at Stanford to sitting on IR for the Redskins in Ashburn. What a 180. Trevor might stay because he doesn't want to go to the Jets. Dude, go to the Jets and get your monies. Take the Jets' money. It'll suck for a little while, but guess what? Don't sign your next deal there. Wait till free agency and move on. But you're the number 1 draft pick in the NFL. There's only 50 of you in the entire world. Or since the draft has been going on. I don't know, 75 of you at most. Like, you're in such a small minority of people, and you get paid for that. It's important. Get drafted and pull an Eli. There you go. Do something. Get traded, man. Get traded. Who's going to have an upset this week? Interesting. Let's look at the schedule. Week 8. So we have the Rams versus the Dolphins. Can Tua get his first win? That could be an upset. Ooh, the Jets over Chiefs. That could be an upset. No. I don't think the Vikings will beat the Packers. Colts are probably favorites over the Lions. See the Colts winning that one. Browns could probably upset the Raiders. Raiders are a hit or miss team. I could see the Browns getting an upset. I don't see the Bengals upsetting Tennessee. Patriots definitely could upset the Bills. That's a possibility. Chargers versus Denver. I don't know who would be the favorite there, but I have the Chargers winning that game. Seahawks versus San Francisco. San Francisco could win that game. That could be an upset. For sure. Bears over the Saints. I don't know who's the favorite. Both are decent teams. I don't really believe in Chicago, so I'd probably take the Saints. Dallas Eagles and Giants aren't touching Tampa Bay with a 10-foot pole. It ain't happening. Tua's going to get killed that game. Browns are a hit or miss team too. Yeah, it's definitely interesting. What's crazy is the Jets are the trash team in the NFL right now, but not that long ago. They were in the gosh darn AFC Championship with Rex Ryan. That was quite a bit of time ago now. That was like, what was that, 8 years ago? 10 years ago? That wasn't, 3 years ago or something like that. The stupid butt fumble. AFC Championship game 4 times, most recently losing to Pittsburgh Steelers in 2010. That was 10 years ago. That wasn't last week. Matt McConaughey is going to be on Colin Cowherd's show tomorrow, and he's a diehard Skins fan. So I'm going to tune in. He might talk us up. Interesting. Matthew McConaughey is a diehard Skins fan, huh? I'm pretty sure he lives in Austin, Texas. I'm almost positive. Damn, where is Chris with his bold predictions, right? Yeah, Chris is not here with us today. I don't know what he's doing. I know, right? Chris would be all over the place. All right, so my 2 upsets. I say the Dolphins upset the Rams, and I say the Dolphins upset the Rams. And would you guys consider San Francisco an upset over Seattle? Would you consider the Niners upsetting Seattle? No. So that would not be considered an upset? Mike Pryor says yes, that would be an upset. Well, that's my 2 upsets then. I say Dolphins find a way to beat the Rams, and the Niners beat the Seahawks. Those are the 2 that I'm putting a stamp of Tim's predictions. The other ones that possibly could be are the Patriots over the Bills and the Browns over the Raiders, but I'm not going to put stock in that one. But I'm calling it now. You have the Dolphins over the Rams and San Francisco over the Seahawks. Those are my bold upset predictions. You know, let me see how much of an upset that would be, according to the ESPN predictor. Rams are only a slight favorite, 43.5 to 56. So that's not as crazy I thought it was going to be because you have what is the Dolphins right now? 3-3 versus a 5-2 team. And then you have Niners and Seahawks. So the Seahawks are only a 50.3%. 50.3 to 49.3. So pretty much a 50-50 toss-up, but I don't know. You have a 5-1 team versus a 4-3 team. It's interesting. Russell Wilson needs to be brought back down to earth, and I say it happens this week. I'm right there with you. San Francisco is going to get this game. Jets beating the Chiefs would be an upset. Jets beating the Chiefs would not just be an upset. That would be a monumental upset. That's whatever it was. I think it was 2008 Browns beating the Patriots kind of upset. I think it was with Peyton Hillis. Yeah, Peyton Hillis, number 40. Yeah, the Patriots. It was 2010. 2010. You had Browns beat Patriots 34-14. Patriots were 6-1 versus the 2-5 Browns. Aaron Hernandez was still there. He had 2 touchdowns on the day. The 2 touchdowns were Aaron Hernandez. Colt McCoy was the starting quarterback. Peyton Hillis was the starting running back. And you had the Browns beat the Patriots back in 2010. But yeah, Jets-Chiefs would be a monumental upset. Yeah, the Jets-Chiefs game is actually the 5th biggest spread in the NFL game history. What is it, 18? 18.5? That would be my guess. What is it, Mike? Roger would just shut down the whole NFL if the Jets win. Goodell would be like, absolutely not. This is ridiculous. Replay the game. Peyton Hillis, 1-year wonder. Correct. Yeah. Well, apparently he was an absolute a-hole. Apparently nobody liked Peyton Hillis. He thought he was cocky. He thought he was better than everybody. And that after that one season, he wanted to get paid a ton of money. And he thought he was the next best thing since sliced bread. Nobody liked him in the locker room. And so apparently he was a big butthole. And he was not liked. So he didn't really ever get a chance. But so good in Madden in 11 or 12. Yeah. The year he was on the Madden cover. Oh, I bet you could break 4 tackles in a row with him on like every play. He was a beast. It's like 20.5, I think. Wow. Let me see. I'm in a football pool. Let me see what my football pool says. Jets, Chiefs, 20. Yeah, my pool says minus 20. Yeah, so 20.5 is probably what you saw somewhere else. But yeah, my book says 20. 20 even. I wouldn't even go to the game if I was the Jets. Can't lose by 20 if you don't show up. Can't lose by 20 if you don't show up. Yeah, the Rams are 3.5-point favorites. And Seattle is a 3-point favorite. Not going to lie, I'm surprised that Miami's only a 3.5-point dog. They like Miami too with Tua. Interesting. Wow. Hey, another upset I said was Cleveland over Vegas. Actually, they have Cleveland favored by 2.5. Wow. That surprises me a lot to see Cleveland favored over Las Vegas. Fair enough. And then my other one that I said that could possibly be an upset was, what was it? Oh, Patriots and Bills. Where's that one? Patriots are +4, so they're a 4-point underdog. Yeah, Bell wasn't really involved in the offense. I have him in like 3 leagues, actually. I'm hoping that I can get something out of him. Bell hasn't played yet. Yeah, no, he has played. Wow, I don't remember seeing him with the production out of Hilaire. Yeah, did Hilaire have a good game last week? Let's look at what Hilaire did last week. Hilaire actually only had 9 attempts. Or sorry, 8 attempts. 8 carries, 46 yards, and a touchdown. And only 1 catch for 17. So there wasn't a lot of production out of Clyde either. Wasmus is in the house. We got OG fans right now. Where's Chris, right? What's up, Mitchell? How are you doing tonight? Mike Pryor. Yeah, to be honest, I don't think they even need Bell that much given Clyde's performance lately. I know as I said, I had him in 3 different leagues, and I was really hoping that he ended up in a Rams uniform. I thought he could have crushed it in the Rams. And then like the second best option probably would have been the Bills. I think he could have had a really good day in the Bills uniform. But those are my 2 favorites. But when I saw with the Chiefs, I was like, dang it, I don't know how well he's gonna do. It's kind of an up in the air thing. And but at the same time, even with Hilaire in the game, Bell could easily get 12 to 15 points a game in fantasy. Like he could still be a flex play for you even then. And then God forbid anything happens to Hilaire, all of a sudden Bell's a top 10 running back in the league. He's right there. They say AG is ranked the highest amongst rookie running backs this season so far. You know what? Let me see if I can look up the rankings according to Pro Football Focus. He's apparently an 80.5, I think, right now. I saw. I wonder where that rates him in general. That's got to be like top 10 easily as far as 80.5, maybe even higher. Hold on, let me look. This is old. Man, they only have old ratings. They don't show me. No, I don't pay for this. So you tell me if any of you can any of you find where that ranks? And Chase Young, the highest ranked defensive rookie this year so far, too. I believe that. He's been a beast on the defensive end. I like that a lot. I like Bell with the Chiefs scheme, and I'm still iffy on PFF after what happened last night about the team's rankings you told us about. All they do is they rate the entire team, okay? And the overall point that I was trying to make from that is that basically it just goes to show that, yeah, okay, you can have some bad corners. You can have, because like there's gonna be some corners that rate really poorly, but you have a decent defensive front, right? That stops for the corners from looking so bad, but when you actually turn on the film, like they're not good. They're letting people open and stuff, but they just don't have enough time to make the throw. Or maybe they do make the throw and they just incomplete it, but that's still a bad mark on you. You could also have some bad play from maybe some left guards or right guards or something like that. They're not having a great day. But if your quarterback's going off and your running back's going off, your receivers are going off, and like 2 players on defense are stopping it, you can win and also look at who you're playing against. So, and it's also possible they just had great games against those teams that, like against the Chiefs, the Raiders just had a fantastic game, but they're really not that good. It's possible. But yeah, I'm curious where Derek Carr ranks right now in PFF. Derek Carr right now is a 71.6. Yeah, and against the Saints, he was probably a freaking 90. He was amazing. Anthony Johnson, I feel like we should be ranked higher than the Eagles. We beat them, and they tied with the Bengals. Yeah, but the thing is that we have some bad freaking grades on some people, dude, that really tank us. According to PFF, Darren Waller is number 2. Darren Waller is a beast. What is he right now? 74.7. He's only number 2. I don't know about number. He that's really only number 2. What about Travis Kelce? Yeah, Travis Kelce's an 86.7. Yeah, I don't know about second best tight end. George Kittle was probably beast. Yeah, 81.5. What a monster. Also, I wonder what Jonnu Smith is. I like Jonnu Smith a lot as well. What is he rated? Yeah, Jonnu Smith's an 83.6 right now. He's a beast. So Darren Waller's not bad, but he's not top 2. Unless you're just saying like fantasy wise, Darren Waller's number 2, which that's fair. I mean, what's the Travis Kelce might be like right behind him or something. According to this, he's number 3. Even with a bye week. Absolutely not, Mike. I was just going to say that, in my opinion, he's my second best tight end in the league, tied with Kelce. Absolutely, no, Kelce's way better. Kelce's a monster. And then you have George Kittle. Darren Waller might be number 3. As I said, I really like Jonnu Smith. Jonnu Smith is the real deal as well. So he's right there in 3 or 4 for me, probably. I'm just looking around at different tight ends, like the rankings here. Mark Andrews is really good. I like Noah Fant a lot. TJ Hawkinson's good. Mike Gesicki's good. There's some interesting tight ends. I'm curious what Will Dissly will do this year at tight end. Like he started off slow, but still curious if he'll show up as well for Seattle. He had a couple of really good games before getting hurt. I just want somebody that can catch. Yeah, who are you kidding? I wish we traded Trent Williams when the Browns offered us, I believe, 2 first-round picks, or when the Patriots offered us a first-round pick. I don't think that the Browns offered us 2 first-round picks. That would have been crazy if we didn't take that. That's just absolutely, borderline retarded. But no, he's. And I also think that was fake news that the Patriots offered us a first. Sign me, I'm slow, but I have great hands. I'm right there with you, Anthony. I was nicknamed Kirby in college because anything that came near me, I would catch. But yeah, not fast at all. I don't even remember what I ran in the 40. Probably around 5 seconds, if I were to guess. And now it's even slower. That was when I was actually in decent shape. Do you remember Jordan Reed versus the Cowboys on Thanksgiving? He had a great game. It was probably one of the best games of his career. I do not remember. Tim, did you just say anything that would come near you would catch in college? Same, bro. That's why you always gotta double bag it. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, Jesus. You're funny. Logan Thomas will develop good hands. He just used to be a QB. We're waiting. Anthony Johnson, I called me Jerry White Rice. That's hilarious. But I remember that game, HTTR. He saved us with that catch. I don't remember. Crap. Thanksgiving. Would have been that 2015 or something. No, 2015 is the year that we played on Thanksgiving, but it was the Giants uni. No. When did we play that game? No, the Colt McCoy game was a Monday night. That wasn't Thanksgiving. He won in Dallas. He won in Dallas, his home state. That was a big game. Yeah, no, that was a lot of fun to watch. I remember that game. Yeah, the people that were previewing the game were saying that somebody asked, okay, what do the Redskins need to do to win this game? And whoever it was, I don't remember who it was now, just started laughing and said, there's no way they win this game. Like, it was his job to come up with a way for us to win the game, and he was like, I can't. There's just no way. And then we come out, defense played amazing. Colt McCoy just did enough to win. I think we only won that game, 20-17 or something like that. It wasn't like a huge. That was 2014 when we played that game. Let me look here, because that was a rough season, rough year. Monday win. Yeah, they won 20-17. The Monday Night Miracle 10 years later. Wait, that wasn't 10 years ago. Oh, the Monday Night Miracle, that was a fun game. That was the one that we scored 2 touchdowns, 2 to Santana Moss, and then Sean Taylor got the big hit fumble to ice the game. That one was fun. Redskins have had some classics. Redskins Cowboys have had some classics. You guys remember the one that we ended up winning? I believe it was like 22-19, and Sean Taylor was still alive, so this was probably back in 2006. And you had where Dallas had a field goal attempt. We end up blocking the field goal. Sean Taylor picked it up, and they get the face mask, and then he runs it back for 40 yards. The face masks caused a penalty to add 15 yards, and then you couldn't end the game on the penalty. So even though the clock was 0, Sean Taylor got us in field goal range, and we ended up winning the game 22-19 instead of the Cowboys taking it 22-19. Thanksgiving against the Cowboys in 2016, we lost. We beat the Cowboys on Thanksgiving probably 2012. I think it was RG3's rookie year, where D'Angelo Hall got the onside kick and had an opportunity to run it into the end zone, but he slid before the end zone. I remember that one. Breland with the big pass deflection and Dez and OT on 4th down. That one doesn't click as well. Crap, I don't remember that one as much. But then we also had some brutal ones where we lost. Like when Tony Romo was still the quarterback, I was at this game. They got the ball with like 1st and goal from like the 2-yard line. They run the ball, we stuff them. We run the ball again, we stuff them. Then we get a sack on Tony Romo to make it 4th and 10. Then they get the frickin' touchdown. I think it was still when what's his name was there, DeMarco Murray. I remember the blocked kick by Sean Taylor. Mike Pryor remembers it too. Great moment. He said he was about to mention it. Yeah, it was a fun. And that tough loss against Seattle in 2005 hurt. Yeah, I don't remember too much about that 2005 loss. I was only 12 when that happened. I remember the Tampa Bay win because it was actually funny because my cousin got married on that day, and she's a Skins fan, and her husband, it was a Tampa Bay Buccaneer fan. So their two teams played against each other in the playoffs on their wedding day. That was fun. RG3 Thanksgiving 2012. Yeah, that was the game that we won with what's his name, right? The Breland was the one with Colt McCoy. Oh, that was the same game? Okay, that makes sense. That Jordan Reed, he got both of his feet in bounds, and that got us the win that game. Okay. That one was the greatest Skins catch I can ever remember. Yeah, that was 2014. Unfortunately, in 2013 and 2014, and probably even a little bit in 2012, not so much in 2012. I probably watched a bit more because RG3 was exciting. But in 2013 and 2014, I didn't watch too many games because I was in college over in Illinois, and so they didn't show the games on TV, so I couldn't watch a lot of them. And I didn't have NFL Game Pass or anything then, so I didn't watch a lot of the games live. So I actually ended up. No, I just didn't watch them much. And then they stunk on top of that, so it was kind of depressing to watch. That was one of the greatest Skins catches ever I can remember. Still watched a lot of Skins games, though, man. I've been to a lot of them. I've gone to a lot. Sad to not go to a game this year. I've gone to just about every game for the last 4 years since graduating college. Like not literally every single game, but I've probably gone to maybe 6 or 7 a year, and then the 2 preseason games on top of them. I've gone to both. I've gone to a lot of preseason games, but I went to that 24-0 against Tampa Bay. Went to both. I went to both the 2012 playoff game against Seattle with RG3. I went to that one. Then I went to the 2015 playoff game against the Green Bay. Both those games were fun. But I've also been to some brutal ones. I went to the Monday Night Massacre against, or Or it was a Sunday night now. I don't remember now. It was a night game. I think it was Monday night where freaking Michael Vick destroyed us 50 whatever 9-14 or 17 or whatever. Yeah, I was at that game. It was 35-0 after one play in the second quarter. Brutal. Or 28-0. It was disgusting. I've been to that one. I went to the Tampa Bay game. You guys remember the Tampa Bay game where the punter or whoever the holder was that game, I don't remember who the holder was, but we actually came down, we scored a touchdown to tie it up 17-17, but instead we missed the PAT to miss it overtime. I was at that game. Yeah, imagine if we drafted Russell Wilson instead of RG3 and had all those draft picks. Yeah, our team would look a lot different. Was it Sav Roca? That might be it. Shoot, I don't know. I don't remember. I remember being at that game. I was probably 13, 14 years old at that point. I wasn't nearly as involved in the roster as I am now back then. But that was fun. Then you had been to some cool ones. You guys remember the Donovan McNabb Eagles when they came to town, and we actually took the lead, and they were driving down. I think they were down by 4, and we ended up tackling them on like the half-yard line at the end zone on a post route, and they didn't have enough time to spike the ball, and we won that game. I was at that game. That was fun. We would have drafted to Andrew Luck. Andrew Luck was the number 1 pick. We had to trade up to get to the number 2 pick. I used to work for Washington Operations since 2012. What does that mean? What other games have I gone to that have been fun? Well, this one wasn't fun, but I went to this game. This game was actually in St. Louis that I went to. I went to the St. Louis game, RG3's rookie year, where stupid Josh Morgan threw the ball at Cortland Finnegan. What a garbage game. Stupid Mike Shanahan. Come on, dude. Why he sent freaking Billy Cundiff out there for a 62-yard field goal, I will never, ever, ever understand. He was missing short from 55 yards in pregame. I watched him. He was kicking it from 55 yards out and missing short. Just terrible decision. I went to that game. I also went to Lambeau Field once where, what's his name? Aaron Rodgers broke the Green Bay record for most yards at a game. It was 31-0 before halftime. Yeah, that was bad. Used to work for the Redskins doing what? That's cool. If everybody knew how good Russell Wilson would have been, the Colts would have took in Russell Wilson, and that would have left Andrew Luck at the 2nd pick, and that's who he would have taken. So, okay. Obviously, hindsight being 2020 and Andrew Luck's early retirement would make you want to draft Russell Wilson. But if Andrew Luck never retired, okay, and he's still playing today, I still might take Andrew Luck over Russell Wilson. Andrew Luck was a beast. I went to Skins game at Gillette Stadium. Oh, that's cool. Definitely my favorite stadium in the NFL. A mall is attached. I hate the Pats, though. Don't we all? Yeah, I've never been to Gillette. I've been outside of Gillette. I didn't go to a game there. I went to Boston, but I never went. I'd never actually been in there. Same thing to Atlanta. I went to the Georgia Dome, but I didn't go to a game, and I didn't go inside. But I just went to it. Have I been to any other stadiums? Oh, I've been to MetLife. I've watched a couple Giants games at MetLife. And then I've only ever driven by Lincoln Financial in Philadelphia. I've never went there. New York Stadium's really nice, really clean. I like New York Stadium a lot. Green Bay's old and iconic. That was cool. St. Louis's stadium was okay. Edwards Jones Dome. Oh, I've been to M&T Bank Stadium for sure. Operations group, basically bull crap. Set up the Washington game, college games, score games, soccer games, I think you meant, concerts, draft day, and other events that Washington hosts, then would have to help the ground crew with the field sometimes. Oh, cool. That's cool. It's a fun job, be around the Redskins field. That's cool. But the players complain about MetLife Field and the turf quality. That's something different. When you're a fan, you don't care about the how it injures your field. Running on the field. It's a really nice and really cool looking stadium, and it's clean. It looks beautiful. Like it's a really nice stadium. But yeah, that's fair that they don't like it as far as the play on it. That's a different question in my opinion. But I'm just saying, as far as a fan and like an experience goes, I thought they had a really nice stadium. M&T Bank is a pretty cool stadium. The Ravens Stadium, it's a pretty cool one. Packer Stadium has bench seats. It's so old. We sat in like section 100 or 101, and it's all bench seating. That's funny. I loved it. A lot of hours. See every game for free, same as the concerts. But I had to deal with thousands of fans, and after you get home, body hurts. Fair enough. How old are you, Anthony? If you don't mind me asking. 23? Okay, cool. So, man, you were working as a pretty young then. 23, 2012, that's 7 years ago. 16, that's awesome. Yeah, I'm just a little bit older than you. I'm 27. The only stadium I've been to besides FedEx is Nissan, and that's because I live in Tennessee. Fair enough. I've never been to the Titan Stadium. Is that a nice stadium over there? I don't know what I'm doing for work tomorrow. Very confused. Did he send a text? I started working the training camp in Ashburn with my grandfather. Then they asked me if I wanted to work at the stadium too. Fair enough. Never been to the facility in Ashburn, but I've been to the. I did go to training camp over in Richmond a couple times. The Yankee stadiums too has benches. Interesting. Yeah, I've been to only three baseball stadiums. I've been to Camden Yards and I've been to Nats Park, and then I've been to Milwaukee Brewers. Went to a game out there in Milwaukee. Milwaukee Brewers Stadium was pretty nice. Yeah, stadium wise, it's a great stadium, and I had a great time there, even though we lost to the Titans 16-25. Oh, you went to that game in December, right before Christmas, right? Where they got that last second touchdown to make it 25-16. It was actually a, whatever that is, a 19-16 game until they got the sack fumble. Mike Pryor, I'm a big Yankees fan. Okay. Love the Yankee Stadium. It's incredible. Yeah, I've always been a Yankee hater. Not really. I don't really watch baseball, so I don't really hate them. But I'm not a big fan of the huge teams, I guess. And just the fact that they could spend more money than everybody makes them better. Kind of not a big Yankee fan. Never been to the one in Richmond. I stopped working with them after the Eagles won the Super Bowl and moved to Lynchburg. I love the Red Sox Stadium. I've never been to the Red Sox. Red Sox fan, huh? Yep, Josh Johnson was the QB, exactly. Could have won that game. Wish we did. We may have had a chance to make the playoffs if we won that game. Red Sox fans, Yankee fans, you guys are all over the place. I'm from Boston and hate the Sox, lol. And the stadium's overrated. With that big wall. I remember that game when he threw the pick six at the end. Was it a pick six? I thought it was a sack fumble. Is that what the wall's called? The monster? We had to win that game to get into the playoffs. That's what knocked us out of the playoffs that season. Yeah, I think if we would have won, we still had to win a couple other games, but if we won that game, we left the door open for us to make the playoffs. Malcolm Butler picked it, huh? Yep, Malcolm Butler, 56-yard interception return. Did he actually throw a pick? Or was it kind of like a weird play that maybe they just counted as a... Is there highlights on this? I gotta watch it. Titans were defensive tackle. Aggravated knee. Nope. Fourth quarterback touchdown. Drove the Redskins the second longest drive of the season, taking the ball 26 seconds left in the first quarter. And then eating 10 runs. Through 153 yards. Now I gotta watch it on YouTube. Yeah, we would have to beat the Eagles if we won that game. Week 16. Peter Griffin voice. Ah. Ah. Okay. So bad. I get to see my favorite player, David Ortiz, play in person. The only other MLB stadium I've been to was the Nats, Mets, Yankees, and Philly. Yeah, Josh and Josh Doxson weren't on the same page, and he threw throw it, and Butler returned it. Yeah, it was just a Hail Mary throw. It was nothing. Clock at zeros. Let's just throw it down there. And the Vikings had to lose that week as well. Didn't they lose, though? Now I'm starting to forget. But anyway, guys, it was fun. Thanks for hanging out. And I will see you guys on Sunday after the Cowboys-Eagles game. Maybe I'll watch one of the games early since the Redskins bye week and maybe do something there. I don't know yet. Haven't decided. We'll see. They weren't lying about Philly fans. They needed they know how they treated opposing fans. Yep. I believe it. But yes, thanks guys for hanging out. And until next time, sit.